want to welcome you to Thrive in the Word. Thank you for joining us in this study of the book of James. We are so glad that you've decided to join us as we study through the Bible. You know, the Bible is the foundation of the Christian life. And if you don't have the Word of God in your life, you know what? You're building your life on things that are shaky, things that just will not hold you in the time of trouble. So that's why we teach through the Word of God. Today we're in the book of James. We're in the 3rd chapter, verse number 13. Now James is changing the topic somewhat, but in verse number 13 we see what we call a transitional statement. In other words, it's a statement that's made to transition or to tie verse 12 in with verse number 14. So this is what James writes, and he says, "Who among you is wise and understanding? Let him show by his good behavior his deeds in gentleness of wisdom." Wow, what a mouthful. There is so much contained in that one verse. But I want you to notice the way he starts out this verse. He says, "Who among you is wise and understanding?" What's James talking about? What's he doing? Well, James is addressing a problem in the Christian church, and especially in the church in Judea. You see, all through the book of James, James is addressing weaknesses in the church there in Judea. One of the weaknesses was they had faith, but they didn't have any works. So James says, you know what? You need to show your faith by your works. And another problem was the tongue of these people. They would gossip and they would cut each other down. And so James talks about the tongue, and we just got finished looking at that. And now another thing is these people walked around thinking that they were superior in wisdom. They put a lot of credit on wisdom and being wise, and the wisdom of Solomon and the wisdom of the patriarchs, and the wisdom. But now James is going to address that and tell us what real wisdom is. You know, I think that we are living in a time, even in the Gentile church, even in the United States of America and other parts of the world, where people are looked on as being wise, but where is their wisdom from? You know, sometimes we see organizations, and these organizations are huge, but what caused that greatness? What caused that to happen? And many times, if you look at it, it's the wisdom of men, and it's not created by the wisdom of God. We need to be able, as believers, to differentiate between what is godly wisdom and what is natural earthly wisdom. Now, natural earthly wisdom can get you in trouble, and we're going to talk about that later this week. So let's go back to verse number 13. And this is what he says: let him show. You see, all through the book of James, James is asking us to not only have the words, but let's have the showing of our faith. Let's have the showing of wisdom. And so James comes out with this challenge, and I believe that it's a challenge for us today. Let him show. Let it be on display. Let people see. How many of you know that many of the unbelievers that are around us, especially if they've been raised in a Christian atmosphere, in a Christian setting, many of them are saying, you know what? I don't care what you say. I don't care what your tongue says. I don't care what you believe. Let me see it. Prove it. Let there be evidence of something. Let me see something that's real. And we as believers, we need to take these words to heart, because James says to us, and he challenges all of us, let him show by his good behavior. What did he say? He said, let him show. How do you show wisdom? Well, you show wisdom by your good behavior. And then he goes on and he says, by his good behavior, his deeds in gentleness of wisdom. You see, we need to understand that the people can see wisdom just like they can see faith. But they can't see wisdom until they see it in your behavior. How many of you know that wisdom is something that's ethereal? It's not something made out of substance or material, just like faith is. But you can see wisdom in a person's behavior. Now, this word behavior basically means in the way that you live your life. Now, how many of you realize you can have good behavior for a time? You can have good behavior on Sunday morning when you're sitting in church. But what about your life? You see, many times we've compartmentalized behavior and said, well, okay, we have behavior in this atmosphere. But how many of you know it's a whole different thing in your lifestyle? And what James is talking about is he's saying people are watching your lifestyle. Is your lifestyle showing the gentleness of wisdom? Now, gentleness is not a meekness. Gentleness means that it's the way that you approach other people. Now, there's some people that think they're wise. You know, we would use this expression, they are wise in their own eyes. In other words, their wisdom is not displayed as gentleness, but it's rude. It's looking down their nose, if we could use that expression, at someone else, and they think that's wisdom. Well, we've got a lesson for you. If you think that's wisdom, James is going to correct you. I want you to join us again on tomorrow's video, because we are going to talk about what is wisdom. What is godly wisdom? Thank you for watching us today. God bless you as you go throughout your day.